Hey everybody, I'm Ben.
I'm Sam.
And this is Counterfeit Christianity. The topic we want to talk about today is, why don't people question things?
What's taboo? What do you try and question and you get shut down by everyone?
Yeah, and we're talking about within the Christian community. For example, we have, why don't people question the Bible? Why are you not allowed to? And if you do, why do you get berated? Like, why don't we question the things in church that don't feel good? Like, we've all been a part of church and we're like, how can this be happening in a place that are of so-called followers of God? How can that happen? Like, why does nobody ever say anything?
Like, people, I think people worship the Bible.
Yep.
We can bring up some specific examples of that maybe in another video.
Yep.
But to me, like, the Bible definitely has value. There's definitely some good stuff in it, but I do think humans have interfered with it.
Yeah.
And without God to inspire you and understand it, it's dead wood.
Yeah.
It's pieces of paper that came from a tree that is now dead.
Yeah.
You know, and most Christians, if you start talking about the Bible that way, they actually worship it. It's almost like it is a form of idolatry.
100% it is.
Because they use that in lieu of God. And I think maybe that's easier for some people because they can say, oh, well, this book says X, Y, Z and everything in it is perfect. Not a single letter is out of place.
Yeah.
You know, Revelations didn't get written until the 1600s, but hey, that's fine.
Yeah. And if it is the perfect word of God, then it's a weapon. It can be used against you in any way. They can pull parts out of it and throw it at you. And then you almost have no rebuttal. It happens a lot.
Well, that's a very good point because people do weaponize it and they do say, well, according to my subjective take on this particular verse that has historical context and probably mistranslated Greek and Aramaic words, you're bad and you're going to hell unless you give me 10% of your wage.
And the original Hebrew is so different to the English. It's a
really fascinating journey. If you actually take the time to learn how to use concordance and you look at the root meanings of the words, it's really changes your perspective. There's some serious value you can get out of that.
Yeah.
And I get serious value out of the Bible, don't get me wrong there, but I do test it with my heart and test it with the understanding God has given me. And there are some parts of it where I read it and I go, I just don't think that's my God, you know, like my God isn't vengeful. He isn't nasty. He doesn't want to torture people forever.
Yep. Yeah, I like to say to people to really get them going. Even the people who are done with church, I say the Bible isn't the word of God, even though we know that it is.
And they go crazy.
Yeah, they go crazy. Like even they cannot like even fathom it. I find it with the older generation that as they've been indoctrinated for the past 50 or so
They're
years.
Afraid.
Yeah. And it's like it's a fear that they can't even say these things.
It shows small faith too, because if you were so scared of someone questioning the article of your faith, let's say the Bible, for example, then how big is your faith?
Yeah.
If it can't be questioned, then how true is it? Anything true, truth bears itself out.
Yeah.
If they really had faith, they would be happy to listen to any rebuttals, happen to listen to any criticism. I believe it because of this, and this. But instead, they cut you off and they're too scared to even hear it. And it's almost like they're scared to hear it because they don't truly believe in it.
Yeah.
You know, if they truly did believe in everything I was saying, and everything that's written, then they'd be happy to listen to everything anyone has to say, and they'd take it in, think about it, and give you a response, or maybe even turn around and go, yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing is with us, we believe that we follow Jesus. We don't follow the Bible. We don't follow a pastor. We don't follow a religion. We are following Jesus. And if you follow Jesus and you can hear from him, you listen to him, you have these real relationships, these real conversations with him, then the Bible has less and less meaning.
And that's why I have no fear either.
Yeah.
Jesus is my friend. Why would I be scared of human? God speaks to you where you're at.
Yeah. Everything is the same.
He's capable of doing that.
Yeah.
No other being in the universe could understand and speak to billions of human beings all at the same time in their own subjective way.
What is it that you see in religion or in Christianity or in anything in the world?
What would you be scared of asking out loud at church? Please tell us. Please leave us a comment and say, hey, I'm afraid of saying this in church because my pastor will rise up and they'll burn me alive.
Yeah, so we might be able to say that for you. So because like, if you have something you want to talk about, you have any questions, anything at all that has come up in your life that you feel like you can't talk about, let's have that conversation here. We could do that. Yeah, we're not afraid of, because we already left the traditional church. We're already out of the institutional church.
Nothing anyone ever says to me or does to me will ever change my mind that Jesus is real.
Yeah.
So you can throw whatever you want at me, and I don't care. It doesn't upset me.
Yeah.
I'll be happy to hear it because if it's something I haven't heard before, that's something new for me to learn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, that's what we're after for this one. We want to talk about those things that are hard to talk about.
Like we said in the previous video, if you're not allowed to question something, that's because it's questionable and because someone doesn't want you to question it, probably because if you do, you'll pick it apart and show that it's not true, or it's false, or it's different.
Like we said before, we want you guys to understand that we need to be with Jesus. We don't need to be stuck in any of these systems that hold us away from the true relationship that we could be having with Jesus.
Yeah, 100%. You need to go direct to God. You don't buy him through a retailer.
And also, subscribe,
Like.
all that stuff, because it'll help us get to more people and be able to have more conversations with different
Help
people.
us offend more Pharisaical Christians.
Is
that a word, Pharisaical?
Well, it should be. If it's not.
Pharisaical, maybe?
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
Whatever.
like I said, don't ask me about
Snooty,
how to say
pouty, judgy people who hide behind a Bible, that's you.
things. Yeah, so don't ask me how to say things, but it sounds good.
Hiding behind the dead wood.
All right, see you guys.